Jaylen, what are some of your first impressions of the Pacers and going up against them here?
Good young team. Play with a lot of energy, play with pace, a lot of passion, and we got to be ready to go.
And obviously Aaron's starting for them, playing a lot for them now into his second year there. What are some of your memories of, him coming in here as a rookie, him, kind of trying to find his way in the league, and, what you've thought of him since he's gone over there?
Super proud of Aaron for his growth. Seems like he's found himself in the league. I remember we used to work out together, me, him, and Joe, over here on one of the side baskets. So I'm proud of his growth and what he's been able to do.
Jaylen, I'd like to know the balance, at least from your perspective, of a team like Indiana that just wrapped up their series versus you guys who have had some days to rest here. Your preference, would you rather kind of be in your flow and your rhythm or have these days to rest?
My personal preference, I think just being ready to go is my personal preference, but I think rest is great. You get to rest your body. My team gets to rest, reset your mind a little bit. I think those days add value. So personally, I just like to keep it going, but I think it's good for us.
Jaylen, you're 8th year in the league, 6th time to the conference finals. Just curious to know what you feel this team has that maybe the previous 5 did not in getting over the hump.
More experience. Got a couple guys that added to the mix. One being KP and Andrew Holiday, a former champion. But it's definitely different. We a lot older than some of those previous experiences. Everybody loves to say it's the same thing, same team, but like each and every year we've grown. Each and every year we've learned. Each and every year we've gotten older, matured, and it's a different mix. But yeah, that's what I would say.
Jaylen, I'm just wondering, what has Kristaps been like at practice? How's he doing mentally, and what's it just been like having him just around, like on the road and everything as well?
KP's been great. Still been very active. Been at every practice, making sure he's still involved in every team huddle, and just staying in the mix mentally. Even though physically he's not fully there yet, mentally he's been engaged. So that's been a great sign. And when he and his body catches up to full health, like we'll be ready to rock and roll.
Jaylen, when you watch a team like Indy shoot 70% yesterday, they're capable, obviously, of getting hot. You, as a defender, when you're out there, what's that feeling like when you're defending well, and they're still hitting the shots? Is that deflating? And how do you fight through that to kind of keep getting through the full 48 minutes?
You just have an understanding as life. I think, as basketball, teams are going to get hot. Things are going to play well. People are going to play well, and you got to navigate that. Don't overreact to it. Don't get caught up in what you guys might say or think about it. It happens. You just can't let it snowball. You can't let it happen again. You can't let it happen multiple times. And obviously, if it does, people are going to be, it's going to be out there. If a team shoots well or if the Celtics lose, you just got to stay even keel. Navigate the waters as best you can and get back and come ready to fight the next day. Team still got to beat you 4 out of 7.
There's a real human nature element to that. It feels like it would be very easy to kind of get frustrated, kind of like, oh, I can't believe he hit that. What kind of mental test is that type of offensive performance and knowing what they're capable of?
And that's the part that I think bothers me most, because I think really majority of it is just navigating emotion, just being able to stay consistent. You're going to make shots, you're going to miss shots, that's a part of it. But if you allow the pressure to kind of get to you, the tension builds. You hear the crowd go, oh, every time you miss. I think that just builds up and it gives the team momentum. You just got to navigate your emotions and take it one possession at a time. And I feel like you'll always have a chance to win if you don't get caught up in the emotion of the game, the emotion of the crowd, and the emotion of the media or whatever it goes. Just come out, play each and every possession with the best intentions possible. Come ready to fight every single night, every single possession, and I feel like you'll be in a good spot. That's what I say to my team. Let's just navigate our emotions as best we can.
Joe continues to talk to us about sacrifice and the fact that when it comes to a team, it's about timing and where guys are in their career. Do you agree with that? And how different are you mentally than you have been in playoff runs in the past?
Yeah, sacrifice is key. I feel like that's been the theme of the whole year. I think that's just been, I think it goes hand in hand with success. Being able to sacrifice for things that you may want, for things that you may need, or sacrifice things that are distracting you for things that give you life. So I think that's super key. For me personally, it feels great. I mean, I don't want to say it feels anything less than great. It feels normal. I think we've been here before, but I don't take it for granted at all. I think we're all grateful to be here, grateful to have these opportunities. So I'm looking forward to every time I get to step out on the floor.
And then totally different track, but when it comes to Kristaps and when he comes back, do you feel like you guys have enough time on the floor in the regular season that you can just put him back out there? Or does there need to be a build-up?
I think it's plenty of time, yeah. I think we've had plenty of time. I mean, I think that, the way in the organization that we played and how we've, wanted to implement him and get him involved in everything so he feels comfortable, I think it'll be a seamless transition. I think, as long as KP gets in shape, make sure he's getting the reps, simulate his, the physicality in practice and stuff like that, I think he'll be fine.
Jaylen, after every playoff game, every night, there's narratives, there's stories. Do you follow that? Do you watch what people say about the Celtics or about other teams? Did you watch the Game 7? How do you kind of digest the playoffs and all the storylines? And then the expectations, how do you manage those in the pressure of everybody saying the Celtics are your favorite to win and you should walk to the finals and this is your year? How do you manage those expectations, those predictions?
You do your best to block it out. You just got to focus on what matters the most, and that's your team, that's each possession that's in front of you, that's whatever your job is, the scouting report, and that's what matters most. Just be able to focus the mind on what matters, because it's easy to get distracted or eluded from what the overall goal and the target is. When you start to entertain kind of everything else that's going around you, then it just makes you less focused on the actual goal. So for me personally, you see it, you try not to, but anytime you cut on the television for anything sports, they're always talking about the Celtics. So it's hard to get away from anybody talking about the Celtics. But for the most part, I do my best to stay away from it and just focus on what's in front of you. Because I think everything else kind of distracts from what the overall team mission is.
Jaylen, just to follow up what Gary was saying, kind of along those lines, how much at your age with what you're doing and the experience does it help to have the ability to adapt to every situation now, mentally and physically, as you go about this journey? It seems like you guys are in a good place with this particular team for that.
Yeah, no, being able to adapt is key, and being able to be flexible. And I think that's one of the strong suits of our team is that we have a lot of talented guys that can do a lot of different things. We play different lineups, and I feel like we can adapt to different styles of ball that's being played. So depending on who our matchups are, depending on how the in-game adjustments or however a coach wants to, strategize against us, we could win in multiple ways. So being ready for that and handling that is key to us.